Gr7 and I'm in grade 7. Today I'm here to interview Mr. Kevin Deccan, who is the owner of Accelerate Outsourcing. Mr. Deccan, thank you for allowing me to interview you. I just have 5 questions to ask you, and you can just answer them for me, please.
Well, firstly, Tash, it's a privilege to be part of your research, and I'll do the best that I can to answer as accurately and efficiently as possible.
Thank you. Okay, can I go here with my questions?
Yes, please take a seat.
Okay, what made you start your own business?
Tash, basically, I started off, after matric I studied a bit, but then I found myself to be what we call a ninja. Ninja means no income, no job, and no assets. So being a ninja, I didn't have any mode of transport. I was staying with a cousin of mine. I didn't have a job, I didn't have a qualification, I didn't have anything to fall back on. I didn't have any money to further my studies, so I decided out of need was to try something in business. So I started a very small business. My first employee was a guy by the name of Tim, and the reason I hired him is because Tim had a car and I didn't have a car. So I used to go around in my employee's car, and from one employee went to the second employee, went to the third employee, and 16, 17 years later, fortunately, I haven't looked back. So to answer your question, it was more out of desperation and more out of need that business was the only alternative for me to do.
Okay. What does your business entail? And in your answer, can you please include like what type of products or services are sold, your customers, time span, location?
Basically, Accelerate Outsourcing, we are a BPO. BPO stands for Business Process Outsourcing. Now within BPO you have voice channels and you have non-voice channels. The voice channels is what is conventionally known as call centers, which everyone knows. But within call centers you have inbound call centers, you have outbound call centers. An inbound call center will be where you buy a product from, say, Woolworths, and for some reason you're not happy with the product. Then if you look at the back of the pack, there's an 0800 number that you'll phone and complain about the product. That's typically going to a call center where they deal with customer queries. Alternatively, let's say your father wants to go overseas and he wants to book a plane ticket. He'll phone the number of an airline, and maybe the guy on the other line is sitting in Mumbai. But your father won't know he's speaking to someone in Mumbai because it is a local number that connects via broadband to a call center in India. So the connection is very seamless, and the reason it's in India is because India is a low-cost destination. So typically those are the kind of products that a call center would have. There's also non-voice in terms of data capturing, in terms of converting text to voice and voice to text. There's some video campaigns, there's medical campaigns, there's legal campaigns. So it's all within the industry of what we call outsourcing. Call centers is one component of outsourcing. In terms of location, our customers are typically organizations that have a big customer base. For example, your national retailers such as your Edgars and your Woolworths and Fushinis. The banking sector will be people like First National Bank and African Bank. Governments like to use call centers for fraud hotlines and for utility call centers. And then you'd have call centers for customer care. For example, if your father gives his car in for a service and he picks it up, you'll find a week later a call center consultant will phone him and say, Mr. Seeth, are you happy with the service? Are there any complaints? Would you recommend us to a friend? So those are the kinds of products and those are the kind of clients that we deal with. Okay, are you happy with that?
Yes, thank you. Okay. Who are your target market or customers?
Our customers in business, you get B2B and you get B2C. B2B is business to business and B2C is business to consumer. Now, in a call center, our clients would be only businesses. And what those clients do, they would contract us to use us as a channel so we can connect to their customers. So in other words, you have a corporate retailer will outsource to Accelerate, and they'll mandate Accelerate to get in touch with 10,000 of their customers. So our clients would be more large or corporate businesses or international businesses, but their mandate would be for us to get in touch with their customers, who is someone that is sitting at home that is trying out a new cell phone that they bought. Okay?
Okay. How is your business benefiting your community?
Tash, we, as part of our corporate social responsibility, we do a range of things. For one is we sponsor a lot of, we do a lot of sponsorships for schools in Pietermaritzburg. We support organizations like Child Welfare, SPCA, some creches. In fact, some time back we actually got together a group of businesses that contributed money, and then we went to a creche in West Street and we did a complete upgrade. The entire building structure, piping, plumbing, tiling and all of that. So those are the kind of initiatives. In the past we bought things like school uniforms, stationery for underprivileged kids, we do feeding schemes. So all of that is part of our CSI. So those are more, have an external orientation. But internally, our big CSI is that we provide employment for a lot of people, typically on a low-end campaign, meaning a campaign where high skills is not required. We would typically get school leavers or people that have been unemployed for like over a year. So here you'd have someone that finished matric 2 years, 3 years ago, sitting at home, got absolutely no skills, no job. He hasn't used a computer. As part of our CSI, we partner with the DTI, we partner with Trade and Industry, where we would sign them up for learnerships, where we put them onto a 6-month training program or a 12-month training program. And in a call center, because it is so technologically driven, you find the guy will come in and he'll know absolutely nothing about industry or technology or any working skills. But over a period of 6 months, we would teach him things like how to use a computer, we teach him language skills, voice skills, product training, we do quality assurance training, processes, systems, targets, and basically give him a feel for how a business runs. And after 6 months, he's then empowered with a new set of skills. And 50% of the staff we retain, but the other 50% we release them into the working world, and then they then stand a far better chance of getting a job. So we have an internal CSI as well as an external CSI. Okay.
Some people enjoy being an employee and others don't. What advice would you give to youth about whether to become an entrepreneur or stay as an employee or become an employee?
Tash, I don't think there's a right and wrong answer. There are advantages in being an employee of a company, and there are disadvantages. There are advantages of being an entrepreneur, and there are disadvantages. So the starting point would be is to look at the individual. If you have an appetite for business, if you are a risk taker, if you enjoy the ride, if you enjoy the roller coaster ride, then it means you must consider entrepreneurship as a career choice. But not everybody is like that. Some people prefer a stable income, they prefer the security of a job, they don't like highs and lows, they like things to be more constant, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that is their DNA, that is their makeup, and that is their personality. So I think you need to start off with who you are, what type of a person you are, and that way you can You can establish that, go and seek professional guidance, like speak to guidance counselors, speak to your teachers, speak to your parents, speak to family and friends, and get them to understand what does it take to be an entrepreneur, what does it take to be an employee. Both sides of it, you have people that are, as employees, they can be highly successful, and people, they climb up the corporate ranks very quickly and they're hugely successful in big companies. But there are other people where, as employees, they don't do very well. Maybe they just stay in one job for 10 years or 20 years, and again, there's nothing wrong with it, but that suits their profile. Same with entrepreneurs. Some entrepreneurs will go into business and they'll make an absolute success story. And we know of many entrepreneurs in Maritzburg, in KZN, and South Africa where they've made a huge success. And they've shifted lives and they've created dreams. But then again, you have entrepreneurs that go into business and after 1 year they would fail. After 3 years they would fail. So both sides, you have successes and you have failures. The difference is whether you should go into it or not is understanding yourself. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much. I'd just like to thank you for answering the questions. Your answers were really good. So you as an entrepreneur, you own a business and you're doing very well.
I don't know about that. All I know is I come to work every day. I come like an employee because I'm at work at 7:45. I work till minimum 5 o'clock. Sometimes I work much later, or sometimes I work from home. But I come to work every day diligently like any employee. I pay myself a salary, so I don't draw from the business to go to the movies or buy groceries. I get paid a salary. I pay myself a salary same time as my employees. So I have very much of a routine. So I'm kind of committed to coming to work every day. Whether I'm doing well, I don't know about that. All I know is I come to work and I do my best, and then I go home. And after doing that a couple of days, you realize 1 year is gone. And then you just review what you've done.
Yes, but I see your staff, they're very happy being here and they're enjoying it.
But I think part of their happiness is they've got to create their own happiness. My job is to create the enabling environment and to provide guidance and leadership and mentoring. They too have a responsibility to create their own happiness, and it's a home away from home. So everyone has a responsibility to make it a happy place, because half our awoken lives for 8-10 hours of the day, you're actually at work. So it helps if you make it a happy place.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Right, thank you very much. Right, I wish you all the best, and I wish you and your school every success in the project that you're doing, and I hope that the interview